Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Browns Myles Garrett, Steelers TJ Watt compete at top of advanced analytic numbers. In 2023, it was no contest that Cleveland Browns DE Myles Garrett beat out Pittsburgh Steelers OLB TJ Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. Watt didn't attend the award ceremony after finding out he lost the award. After the Browns and Steelers matched up in the Snow Globe game on Thursday Night Football, Garrett reminded everyone that he was top dog in the rivalry with Watt. In a survey of players, Garrett was the top defender, and third overall, chosen as the non-QB that they would want to build a roster around. Watt received just over half the votes that Garrett did. In the second matchup of the season, our founder, Chris Picorni, sent out a tweet after Pittsburgh beat Cleveland that caused a stir among both fan bases, more so those wearing black and yellow. While we stand by Picorni's statement as true, we can also appreciate that Watt is a talented defender. In fact, Watt leads Pro Football Focus' newly created chip percentage, which tracks how often a defender gets help from a running back or tight end with quick help. Watt has an impressive 32.74% rate, while Garrett is second in the league at 26.16%. Another advanced metric, ESPN's pass rush win rate, has Garrett ranked 5th and Watt down at 12th, with the Browns defender getting double-teamed at over twice the rate, 29%, as his Steelers peer, 13%. PFF's overall pass rush rating, pass rushing productivity, has Garrett tied for 7th with Cincinnati Bengals DE Trey Hendrickson, with Watt barely cracking the top 100, tied for 92nd. Overall, PFF has Watt rated as the second-best edge player in 2024, 92.4, with Garrett right behind, 91.9. The NFL's own Next-Gen Stats credits the reigning DPOY with getting pressure on the quarterback 19.3% of his pass rush snaps, second best among defensive linemen, while Watt's rate is 10% and falls outside of the top 100 among linebackers and would be just inside the top 10, 46, among defensive linemen. Along with Hendrickson, the AFC North is blessed with a few great pass rushers, with Garrett and Watt leading the way. Unfortunately for Garrett, his team doesn't win at the same rate Watt's does, but we don't assign wins and losses to individual players, or Joe Thomas wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Whether the longtime Browns defender or the longtime Steelers defender is better could be debated alongside Brady or Belichick for years to come. Hopefully, while debating, we've cast our ballot. Obviously, everyone can appreciate both players. Steelers vs. Eagles preview. Key storylines to follow in Week 15. After avenging their Week 12 loss to Cleveland last week, Pittsburgh heads across Pennsylvania to meet the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles enter this week following a win, perhaps a less optimistic one, though. Their tight 22-16 victory over a struggling Carolina leaves some question marks regarding their current state of play. One of the only all-time records to be dominated by an opposing side, the Eagles lead Pittsburgh by way of a 49-29-3 record. With just 7 regular season meetings since the year 2000, these cross-state rivals meeting is a unique opportunity. While the Eagles dominate the overall record, since 2000, they have a narrow edge over Pittsburgh, winning 4 of the 7. In 2022, the Eagles embarrassed the Steelers, beating them 35-13 in Philadelphia. The Eagles have had a near-flawless season this year, appearing as Super Bowl contenders once again. The offseason acquisition of Saquon Barkley transformed the offense and has allowed them to open up the field more than potentially any other team in the league. Barkley's record-breaking rush yards pace should not overshadow the rest of the talent on that offense. With players like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Hurts at quarterback, this team is incredibly dangerous. The Steelers' start to AFC North ball has been applaudable, and for that, they now get a 1-week break against one of the best teams in the NFL. Everyone knew coming into this season the gauntlet that Pittsburgh had to close out 2024, and it has certainly arrived. Regardless, Russell Wilson is now 6-1 as the starting quarterback and is showing no signs of slowing down for anyone. Pittsburgh continues to narrowly miss having a fully healthy roster as it appears George Pickens will miss his second week of action in a row with a hamstring injury. Along with Pickens, Deshaun Elliott did not participate in Wednesday's practice as he too labors an apparent hamstring issue. Finally, good and bad news for Steelers DTs as Montravius Adams and Larry Ogunjobi both appear in this week's report. Adams is back to being a full participant and will likely go this weekend at the heels of his knee injury. The Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, on the other hand, did not participate on Wednesday or Thursday because of a groin injury. A few big names on the Eagles' Wednesday injury report as well. Dallas Goedert was recently placed on injured reserve and will miss his second straight week against Pittsburgh. QB Jalen Hurts, left finger, and LB Nakobe Dean, elbow, were full participants at practice and appear probable to play. Some prominent Eagles defenders appear to be banged up with CB Reed Blankenship, concussion, and DT Jalen Carter, shoulder, being limited on Wednesday. With hefty lists of potential injuries, 2 Super Bowl contenders, and a whole lot of talent, this should be one of the most exciting contests in the NFL this week. So, here are some key storylines to follow as you gear up for kickoff. Eagles' Nick Sirianni reveals the difference he sees in Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh versus Denver. The 11-2 Philadelphia Eagles are set to host the 10-3 Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday in what might be the best game of this weekend slate, and ahead of the matchup, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni was asked what he is seeing from veteran quarterback Russell Wilson, who is having a resurgence with the Steelers after a massively disappointing stint with the Denver Broncos. "We didn't play Denver the last 2 years, so that's something I can't answer," Nick Sirianni said. "I just know that he's been good for a really long time. He's playing really good football right now. I don't remember the last time that I have been on a team that's gotten ready to play. I don't think I've been on a team here that has played Russell Wilson. You see him sometimes on crossover tape, but that's not how you're watching. Go back. If the Denver Broncos were playing the Kansas City Chiefs and we were getting ready for the Chiefs, I'm watching the Chiefs' defense. I'm not necessarily watching Russell Wilson. But, man, good player who has been a good player for a very long time. A lot of respect. A lot of respect for him." Sirianni did not go into how Wilson has improved since his days with the Broncos, but it is clear that he has a lot of respect for the veteran quarterback and what he has done for the Steelers this season. Since taking over as the starter, Wilson has completed 64.8% of his passes for 1,784 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, according to Pro Football Reference. That has come in 7 games after taking over for Justin Fields, who started the season for Pittsburgh. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Nick Sirianni? Leave your opinion in the comments.